Good morning, students. Hope you all are doing good. Today we will learn the first chapter of 10th standard, which is revision of class 9th. This chapter is divided into different units. This video is about first unit, introduction to object oriented programming concepts. I know you people know about it already, still listen carefully. So these are the concepts that I'm going to discuss today from Unit 1. Procedural oriented programming, object oriented programming, difference between POP and OOP. Finally, the principles of OOPs, that is objects, class, abstraction, polymorphism, encapsulation and inheritance. Procedural oriented programming is the ancient style of programming where procedures, that is functions, are the main structural features of programs. That means the whole program is divided into smaller units called functions, and the main emphasis will be in the functions rather than the core of the program. Example for POP is C, COBOL, etc. Nowadays, POP is not being used anywhere because of its inefficiency to deal with the real world needs. So then came the revolution of object-oriented programming concepts. So what is object-oriented programming? It is a programming language organized around objects and data rather than functions. So example for object-oriented programming languages C++, Java, Python, etc. The features of OOP will be discussed then. Before that, check out the difference between POP and OOP. POP programs are divided into functions. In OOPs, programs are divided into objects. In POP, main focus is on the procedures, whereas in OOP, the main focus is on the data. In POP, it follows the top-down approach, whereas in OOP, it follows bottom-up approach. In POP, it does not have access specifiers, whereas in OOP, it has access specifiers such as public, private, protected, etc. In POP, it does not provide any data security, whereas in OOP, it provides data hiding as well as data security. In POP, modification is difficult, whereas in OOP, the modification of the program is easy. Now, let us see the basic principles of OOPs, that is objects, class, data abstraction, inheritance, polymorphism and encapsulation. We'll see objects first. Objects are the real world entities which contains data and functions. Data are also called as characters, characteristics, and functions are called as its behavior. For example, any real world entities like pencil, apple, book, board, you, me, etc. are objects. Okay, let us see in detail. Consider any person as object. A person's state can be his or her unique properties like hair color, black eyes, white skin, height, weight, etc. So the person's behavior can be eating, sleeping, walking, playing, studying, etc. So next is class. A class is a blueprint or a template that defines objects of the same type. Since class and objects are interrelated, a class too has data and functions. For example, consider a class named student. A student has its data as name, age, color, sex, etc. And the functions can be eating, drinking, running, etc. So here you can see the class student has three objects named John, Sophia and Lily with their own unique characteristics and behavior. So that's all about real life class. You know how to define a class in program with the keyword class. So you have to use class, class name. An object for any class is created with the new operator. So syntax for that is class name, object name is equal to new class name function, and this will be explained in detail when we deal with programs. So you need not to worry about this now. Important terms or definitions related with class and objects. So there are mainly three terms or definitions that is related with class as well as object. So first is, we call class as an object factory. A class can produce as many objects with similar data type, and that is why it is called as object factory. Okay. Next is second one, object is an instance of a class. That is, in Java language, each object is created from class, which is called instance of a class. So in the previous example, John, Sophia, Lily are the three instances of the class student. Third point, class is a user-defined data type or composite data type. That means a class is made using the primitive data types, and you know primitive data types are int, byte, short, long, float, etc. So the class name become a single data type for its objects or instances. So hence class name is called a composite data type. The next feature is data abstraction. It is an act of representing the essential features without knowing the background details. For example, when you use remote control of TV, you do not bother how the pressing a key in the remote changes the channel on the TV. Right. Similarly, we need not bother or not knowing how ATM machines are able to perform operations like cash withdrawal, money transfer, etc. The next one, encapsulation. The system of wrapping data and functions into single unit is known as encapsulation. It provides data security as well as hiding. For example, consider a capsule. So all the medicines are encapsulated inside a capsule. Likewise, a class is encapsulating its variables and methods. The next feature is polymorphism. It is a process of using a function for more than one purpose. For example, consider yourself. If you're going to a shopping mall, you behave like a customer. In bus, you behave like a passenger. In school, you behave like a student. And at home, you behave like a son. So one person acting differently in different situation. And this feature is polymorphism. And this polymorphism is implemented in programming using function overloading, which will also be discussed later. The final one, that is inheritance. It is a property of one class to inherit the properties from another class. The class that gets inherited to another class is known as base class or superclass or parent class. The class that inherits from a base class is known as a derived class, a subclass, or a child class. And we inherit one class from another class using the keyword extend. That's all about today's class, children. Since this unit is all about revision of class 9th, I have explained only important points regarding each topic. So please refer last year textbook. Thank you.